Here I am on a page where it disappears if I click into the white part, as you can see. I can click into the red part, that works, but it's not very satisfactory. I think there's a way around it. I'm going to copy this, which is part of the white part, and pop it up here. And now, having pasted it in there, what I need to do is avoid clicking that. I need to come down here and click save. So now I've got something there. Now let's see if I can click into the white part. I can here, and I can here, and I can here. So the problem arose because the table was the first thing on the page. So it didn't like that. And now that I have that, I can put whatever I want in here. Like I could put in welcome. Or whatever else we want to call it. And here I'll put something that reminds me. Don't let the table start the page. So these two red things are tables. People use them to have some control over the colors and so on. We shouldn't really, is a sort of guideline for accessibility, but we do because if you want to have the same effect the proper way, then you need to get some help from the central Canvas team to do that, and you need to get that policy established. So this is a bit of a hack. People use tables, but we can see here it's brought in a problem. So you can see that the table starts now here, and it's no longer the first element on the page, and that seems to mean that we can click around without causing that problem we had before. So that seems to be the solution. You might want to remove the table. In fact, if you did want to remove the table, you could copy your text, pop it in there. Not like that, because it'll be white, but you do paste this plain text, and then you could have select it and make it like a heading, big heading. That shouldn't be a problem. And if you don't want the table now, you can delete it. So you could do that. You can see that's no problem. I could do the same with the other table. So here, it's the table at the start that is the problem. So maybe just take that off. You can achieve effects that are kind of similar but not quite as good. But if you really wanted to, you can sort of go, all right, we'll make the text white, and we'll make the background to the text red, but it doesn't fill up the whole bar. You see the difference there? I mean, it just isn't as nice. But on the other hand, you know, we could go get a school policy and say we're going to have this styled the proper way. Everything that's a heading 2 will have this style, and then you would just make it that heading 2 and you wouldn't have to put colours on it. So what I'll do here is take these colours off. So it's taking it off, and taking it off the text colour as well. Wait, which, I think that one. Well, got myself confused there. This is the text colour here. There we go. So back to black. So I'd be tempted to take away the tables, really. I mean, it doesn't look as good, but you're copying that and then paste this plain text and then make that heading 2 and make that, just delete it, click into it, delete it, delete table. So that's the way you're meant to do it in Canvas, and then get a policy change really if you want that styling. So hopefully that should perhaps help at the moment. So here we go, save. So I'll stop there. Here we're looking at a problem in a particular web page in Canvas. If I click into it, it closes, disappears in some sense. I can reload the page and then I'll have it back. I can click in here, same happens, reload. Doesn't happen if I click in the red part, but if I click in the white part, we're getting that. So something is happening there. Let's take a look at the code. Now, of course, the red part is this kind of table heading. So it's saying recommended reading there and topic learning outcomes. So when we say it doesn't happen when we click in the red part, what we mean is it doesn't happen when we click into a table. So that's a table, this red box. That's a table. You can see when you click into them, you get this table toolbar. Okay, but if I click in somewhere else, it's not a table. If I do it, it'll disappear, so it's quite hard to see, but let's refresh it and look at the code. And we should see in the code, just make this a bit bigger, we should see in the code, look, there's one table. There's nothing in it except recommended reading. There's another table. Again, nothing in that except topic learning outcomes. So it happens when we click into the other parts. Let's look at this. Add a caption to the top table. Title. Nope. So anything, any fiddling, and we're any fiddling with these things, these tables, we can't do it. Skip that one. Table header. I think that. I'm going to skip on to the second table. Okay, so we can put it on this one. Alright, but if we go back and try and put it on the first one, not okay. Not okay. Alright, there's something really quite wrong up there. What is it? So if we look at this. Table style, it looks okay. We could select that and say we're not going to have a table, and down there we're not going to have a table. Alright, so we just have a heading. Well, I've seen better. So it didn't take. Okay, here we go. We can hop into the code view and try and get rid of the tables. See if that helps. I'll get rid of this part here and that part there. Alright, there's a table down there too. That there and that there. Okay, so no tables now. Alright, let's just save it, see what happens. Did I lose any text there? It's white. So I haven't lost it. Just need to take off that. Just knock it down to just be an ordinary H2. So just take that. Bit boring. Let's try and do it the other way. Swap back to this. Okay, right. There it is. And I'm going to try and take the text color off. So remove the text color, now you can see it. And there's one down here too. And take the text color off. There we go. So now if I swap back, you can see there's less of all this fancy stuff, right? This little icon, this little thing just means a space, but there's a space there. We can leave it or not, it doesn't matter. But there's none of those tables anymore. Just have headings. Alright, you could say it's not as pretty, but let's have a look. It's not as pretty, but still we can edit it. There's something about the tables causing havoc. So there are other ways if we want to have it looking pretty. We'd have to get the Canvas team to help with it, but there are other ways. So I would say let's try and take the tables out. So that works. That works. Yep. Alright. That's basically it, really. I'll just pick a note here. And you can then go in and say, I will put a color on this, if you really wish to. You could say, you could make a background color if you try and mimic, if you wanted to mimic what we had before. This won't be as good though, because I'm just very quickly mimicking it. So it's not inside a table, which is what provided that kind of boundary. There are other ways to do it. It's called CSS, but you need a bit of Canvas help to do that. I'm just going to click on clear formatting here, just to get rid of that. But I think we would need probably to go down the route of CSS, which means getting some help from the people who administer our Canvas in Queens if we wanted to replicate that red table look. But it would be a much better thing to do, but it would have to be done for us, really. And we would maybe get that approved for the whole school. Okay, so I'll click save. At least though we know that we can do this. I'm going to stop there.